seriously, if there's any point you want me to stop, what I was going to do is show you this little escape room. I set it up like kind of a traditional escape room where if you've ever been to one, you arrive in there and they have kind of a little reception area, and then you go into the actual game room. Um, the so it is set up pretty traditionally. There's this one is it's really quick when you know what you're doing, as I'm guessing most escape rooms are. I've done a handful of them in real life, and some of them have been so hard that the game master was constantly telling us, giving us hints, and some of them, were so easy that you kind of race through it and you're like, wait, that was it? And so um, I'm going to play this one through a little bit and kind of just talk out some thought process. So it's going to be a little role playing when we're playing it, because obviously I know how to beat it. So I'm just going to kind of pretend that I don't, so to speak, so you can kind of see some of the stuff around here. So this was our reception area. We got the receptionist here, and we got me. It's my little NPC that I made. And one of the things here that so I made this little menu so that we can talk about if you don't know what an escape room is. This is all done, pretty much with NPC dialogue. Sorry, it's always hard to play and talk at the same time. But anyway, one of the first things you're going to do, and a lot of escape rooms, most of them, they're watching you, right? They have hidden cameras set up, and they usually have some sort of intercom, and they're there to provide hints and help you out. So in ours, we're going to use this concept of a walkie-talkie. And so we made a little walkie-talkie item here, and we'll be able to communicate with them and ask for hints. And hopefully, if you don't know how to make a walkie-talkie and you're interested, well, then today you can learn how to make a walkie-talkie. And there's some cool stuff that I did where the hints are based off of your location, so you can get a good idea on how to use that too. So we're gonna go inside our escape room here. All right, so we are inside now. There was supposed to be a dog that popped up. I'm not sure why it didn't, so I'm a little surprised. But basically, they're telling us the one thing is most of these experiences are timed. This one doesn't have a timer. Timers in Minecraft they're not difficult. They're just time consuming to make. But adding a timer to this would really help it. I just didn't have time. So when I go into escape room, the first thing I do is start taking account of all the different things that I see, all the puzzles, all the things. They usually tell you can move anything that moves on its own force. Don't use a hammer or a crowbar and try to break things apart. Same thing pretty much in here. I mean, like that, I'm not going to break it, but I am manipulating it. I'm going to start looking for stuff to do inside here. Start looking around. I see some portraits and this cage with a chest behind it that clearly I want a chest, right? I see another chest over here. See some sort of gate with little alcoves and a lantern with some colored lines. Some weird dispensers. So yeah, let's see what this thing does. It just turns on some water. All right, well, I'm going to dig in and I'm going to go inside here, and I found a candle. So I'm going to take this candle and I'm going to keep looking around. One thing in an escape room, sometimes the things are obvious, like, a box like that, you'll find something. And sometimes there's laying out in plain sight and you don't know what they do. Sometimes they're hidden. So there's this little oddly out of place thing on the wall. So I'm going to investigate it. And then I found another candle. So now I got two candles, and they're red and yellow, much like these big gaudy designs on the wall. So I'm gonna Let's see what happens if I place them here. Okay, nothing to note there. So nothing happened. There's a plate here. What's this plate do? Oh, so by standing on this pressure plate, that gate opens. But I can't quite get to the chest before it closes, and it's only holds open for a second there. So I need to hold that plate down. Well, luckily the host gave me this walkie-talkie, so I'm just gonna throw it down on there. Use it to hold this open. And now I got a flint and steel, which is the Minecraft Zippo. And I'm gonna light these candles with it. There we go. Oh, and I did that. The light came on. So now I know I'm on the right track. Something's happening. It's always good to have some sort of indication. When I make worlds for Minecraft, I'll try to do something either with a light or a text or some sort of, some sort of indicator that something happened. The best thing would be is if I could like go into a camera. It takes a long time to make cinematic, so I didn't do them for this. But if I had lit that candle and then it cut to me being able to see that it lit up, because a lot of the actions take place like here, I didn't get to see it happen. So if I don't design something, a lot of times I'll try to design something where I can see the thing in view. Like, for example, if I had to put a candle here, I would see the light come on. But if they're not in that position, I like just cinematic. But I didn't do them for here. So these are things that I'll think about adding to this later. When I light this, see, we see the door open. That would be a perfect time to cut after you lit that candle. Having a nice like pulled back view of the gate opening would have been perfect. So I've found a new room in here, and I found a chest. That's pretty obvious with some shears, looks like. And I see this guy here. He's got a bow. I'm gonna take it. Oh, I want those though. Here, let's see if I can do that. There we go. So I got a bow, but I got no arrows. So again, a lot of times stuff can be hidden. So I'm gonna just kind of look around, see if I can find anything. Oh, look at that! I found a hidden arrow cache. All right. Oh, what's that? There's a door up there. Oh, and there's a target up there. I'm gonna take a shot at it. Got it. Opened up this thing here. And I'm gonna right up this elevator. And I found some sort of secret chamber with some sort of decorative pot. But I can't seem to break it, so looks like I need something else. But I did get these shears. And in Minecraft, what I always use shears for is cutting down leaves and plants. So I'm gonna see this garden here. I see this empty cup, and over here I see this axe and two flowers. So maybe there's some correlation there. I'm gonna break that and put this flower in the pot. Aha! It broke the axe free. And now that I have the axe, I'm gonna use the axe because I can see that there's something up here. There's a pot up there. Oh, this axe could probably break that. Probably break this thing up here. Let's see here. Yes. Oh, look at that. I got a gold skull. This wither skull. I should have named it. I should have renamed it. I just recolored it, but you could also rename it, as you probably know. I should have called it the golden skull. All right, now I got a golden skull. And then there's on our little exit here, we got these little golden skull markers. So I'm just going to put this gold skull down right here. Oh, hello. It apparently liked that, so that's good. So I see another box up there, but I can't really get to it, so I'm gonna try to cut down this ladder and use it over here. There we go. So really quick, not that I need it per se, but I'm going to ask for a hint. So I got this walkie-talkie like I showed you. I'm going to use it and ask for a hint. You will need to extend the path upwards to reach new heights. So what's kind of cool is this thing will give me a bunch of different hints, and it's also room specific. So if I actually come over here and I ask for a hint, the hints are more related to this room. So anyway, let me go back up and see what's in this pot. It's a lever. So I saw something over here. This is the fireplace controls. So I'm going to put the lever on there. I'm going to turn off the fireplace. There we go. The lights came on and the fireplace opened up, revealing a secret passage. So now I got this little chamber here with this little grid and then two grids that are similar on the other side with different colors. So seems to be a color matching puzzle. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to grab these. I already see something that went wrong there, but it's okay because I'll play it safe here. So I'm going to recreate these into this grid. So let me just get this going on here. Haha, there we go. Whoa, what's that? A spyglass. All right, well, I used a spy. There's something down there. It says rotate 7 times. And if I look down here, it says rotate 4 times. This one says rotate 6 times. And these arrows lit up. So I'm going to try spinning them. So we had 4, I think, on this red side. 3, 4. And this one was 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 6 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hey, look at that. It opened up this little trap door. I'm going to go inside and we found another pot. And with it, we got a second golden skull. All right. Well, I'm going to set this down and see if I can get out of our escape room. Whoa. And that did it. There we go. And we got out. Excellent work. So, yeah, there's also included in this world is a Redstone museum where I show you like a couple. We're gonna fly over there and check it out real fast right now. I'm just gonna. I don't remember exactly the coordinates for it, so I'm just gonna. Oops, clumsy fingers. I'm just gonna fly up here, maybe. There we go. Yeah, so it's over here, and if you get a copy of this world, if this, and a lot of this stuff might be basic information, you might already know it. I know a lot of you are already like insane builders on your own merits, but if this is kind of a little bit of an introduction to the redstone, and then some of the little contraptions, I call them bits or gags, gimmicks, and these are kind of just like little things that I like to use when I make, any kind of puzzles or escape rooms. These are kind of the foundations of what you need, and then you can modify them and take those concepts and come up with some really cool puzzle ideas. So yeah, this just shows you, like I said, some basic redstoning, and then we get into like a repeater clock, and if you can hear it, you probably can't hear it, but it's ringing that bell every time it goes around. And yeah, so we show you how to do some doors over here, show you daylight sensors, show you how to make those combination locks like I was making, and with the arrows and whatnot. We got how to do doors, remote or direct access. We got this fake facial recognition door that when you get close shuts because you're not the right user, and the way that you can disable it to get in there and get your cookie shows you how that kind of works. And what was this one? This is a memory card. Like if you've ever wanted to make a key card reader, this one shows you how to make it. There's a key card like this that's not correct. And then we have the key card that is correct. And so if you use the wrong key card, you won't be able to get in. But if you use the correct one, I should have grabbed the wrong one. Let's see what happens. So if I throw in key card, no dice, right? So let's see what happens if I put in key card. Apparently I have no access. Well, apparently it's not working. I don't know why, but why did key card? That's interesting. Maybe I broke it and didn't fix it. Well, anyway, I'll make sure it works at some point. But this would show you how to do a key card. Basically, this thing was supposed to, might be in a weird state. Showing you how to make structure blocks. I use structure blocks to copy some of my things when I do resets. The one thing about making anything that I try to make, I try to have resets for everything. So if I go here and I say reset room, I go back, now everything's reset. It's just like I never done anything. Of course, sometimes in the process things get broken. The museum might have some bugs in it. But anyway, that's my escape room. So does anybody have any questions about stuff they would like to see in an escape room, or how anything's happened here? Want to do a deeper dive on any of the techniques?
You had a lot of love in the chat, Cole.
Oh, okay. I can't see
I know
it.
you weren't able to see
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Let me shoot. Sorry.
And Luke said turn it into a zip and look at the resource packs. It's very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Check it out.
I think John had a question on reverse engineering it.
Sure. How to reverse engineer it? Well, let's look at it. You can see my screen. Do you see my file browser thing here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna go to my worlds here, and I'll just click on here. So everything exists in these two. I mean, there's stuff in the world as well. So it's actually a combination. But if we look at the world, there's some things that you can't do well in functions, like timing, like that you still have to do in the world. I wish that we had like a better kind of wait command or something. So when I need things, sometimes I still have to use like a redstone, like repeater or the delay function on a command block to get timing issues down. But if we break out of here, so break it out. It's okay. You can see my control rooms is just on top. It kind of spreads over here. The original, this I updated this escape room because something I find that works good in an escape room like is mine was like a journey because I made it for something to teach like how to make escape rooms, and it ended up like basically you exit through the lobby. So from the bottom room, you actually went through and you ended up in the museum. For this, I wanted to change it so that it was more of an actual like what you would experience in an escape room, which is usually you come into the lobby and you kind of have to exit back into that lobby. So um, I switched it around, but that's why the museum's still there. But my control room's broken up in between two places here, and since you never go outside, I just figured it wasn't a big issue. But over in the distance, I had a whole copy because I had this lazy idea thinking, well, you know what? I can just structure block everything and I'll just build it over there. And then when I want to reset, I'll just say, I'll use the structure command to copy everything back. Well, that was kind of costed me a couple hours of work when I accidentally reset it and pulled all that stuff because I was working on this and not that. So I went away from that concept and I just commented that out and restarted. But yeah, so if there was a feature like here, let's look at the walkie-talkie. The walkie-talkie is a really powerful tool, and it's really not that hard to make. And you could use it for like anything. The cool thing about it is like you can make something that the player actually has agency to use. A lot of time we don't have a lot of ways to like just like to bring up a UI, right? Like you could have an NPC, but this will let you like basically have an NPC on demand. And let's see, so it's right here. The way this works, and this is so first you make a walkie-talkie, and the way we do it is we hijack an item if you're like a long-time builder and you probably already know this technique, but um, you use the fishing rod, right? And it's because when you use the fishing rod, you actually cast out um, a fishing line with the hook. They call it the hook. I used to call them bobbers when I was a kid, but like the little red and white bobber. And what you can do is you set a command to find that, and then because you know that that's going to like spawn when you do that, that's the trigger. So like a lot of other things don't have that. If you have a sword, there's nothing else, right? You could do it. Some people do it with like a snowball or anything that could kind of launch out of you. Like, but I like the fishing rod. Um, so if you this is we're gonna just backward engineer it so you can see how it's done. We're looking just for that fishing hook, right? And then we're gonna do something when it happens. So in this, first thing we're gonna do is kill the fishing hook because we don't want to see it. If I take this out, um, you won't see the hook because I made it invisible, but you will see the line. So if I got rid of this, you would still see like the string of it, and that would look silly. So we instantly kill it. And when we do, after we kill it, then we do our action that we want to do. So in this case, it's a function called set hit number. And then we open up that dialog, which is the host help intro. So it sets what it's going to be from here, and then it opens the appropriate dialog based off of what this is. So if, like I said, I'm out of the world, but might have a tag still. Let's see what happens. So it still thinks I'm in room 1 because I just left room 1. So it's giving me room 1 hints. So really, if we look at what's happening, I'm clicking this, a bobber flies out, it's instantly destroyed. It detects it, and because it detects it, it sets like basically it checks to see what room I'm in, and then it fires up this, and then I can get the appropriate hint. So this one's talking about the candles. So yeah, pretty easy and very powerful. You can do all kinds of stuff. A lot of times, if you see worlds where someone has some sort of phone or communicator, I can almost bet you they're using this technique with this tool. This is where I'm actually setting which room you're in. So it detects which room you're in, and then it sets a scoreboard value. It basically says, oh, you're in room 1, set room 1 to 1, but then set room 2 and 3 to 0. And of course, room 2 is opposite, right? So it's doing like, okay, set room 1 and 3 to 0 and set room 2 to 1, and so on and so forth, so that it's binary. 1 is on, 0 is off. So it always knows what room you're in. These are just things like, this is what I was talking about where it's a timing issue. So my gate animates open, so it doesn't just disappear. It goes chunk, chunk, chunk and raises up. And so to do that, it can't do that in a function, because in a function it'd be instantaneous. So that's how I do it. I'm sure there's ways that you could do it other ways, but that's way it's pretty simple. What are these? These are checking. Oh, this is setting my tile drops, because I don't want tile drops because everything's locked down. Because we're in adventure mode and you can't place anything. If I give you World Builder, for one, like, World Builder doesn't exist like in Bedrock, but we could kind of, in education, we could kind of get some mileage out of that. But if I wanted you to be able to place these ladders here, I'd have to put a allow block underneath here, right? Well, then I could also break this, and I don't like that. So I just came up with a solution where I turn off the tile drop. So when you actually break this, it doesn't drop a tile. It actually gives you everything that I've got from here. It's giving it to you, and it's a special version. And if you look here, see, this is just a ladder. But if I get my special ladder, which should be where is it, over here somewhere? Maybe in this box. Maybe this one. Yeah, here's one. You'll notice it says can be placed on purple glazed terracotta, so it can only be placed on the wall. That way you can't waste it or lose it. And since you can't break anything, you can only break things to certain things. So that axe that we got in there was also special. That axe was a oops. Oh, sorry, I forgot where I am. This axe can only break a ladder, and this one can only break a ladder. But the one that's in the actual chat that we're getting from this one can actually break a ladder, and it can break these pots that we can't break. So yeah, that's how I control what you can do in here.
So Cole, there's a few additional questions in the chat as
Yeah.
well.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
um I'll try to get through all of them. So the first one is, can you add new blocks or do you change an existing block?
You can add blocks. Yes. There's we can add simple blocks, and you can change block shapes now as well. So you can make something basically have different geometry. Like, think of like the Ender Dragon egg. Do I have that in here? This. So this is a block, but see how it's shaped? You can make your own shapes now. So if you've played the Investigators, the map that Nadine has in her background, if you play that, you'll see, like, we've used there's chairs and little safety cones. I thought maybe you'd be able to see them in that picture. You can't. But there's yes, you can make your own blocks. But what's harder to do is to give them functionality. Like, I don't know where we're at on that. For example, like making a new crafting thing. I know you can. It's just It's just harder. And for a long time you couldn't. So I'm not 100% sure where it is. For this map, I hijacked blocks rather than made new ones, but you could easily make your own. And bring them in now. So you just there's inside if we go back to this folder inside resources, maybe I think it's in resources. I don't have it, but there. Oh, maybe it's in the other one. Sorry, I always forget. There's no, it wasn't that one. So I think in resources there's supposed to be a file. If you add new blocks and stuff, there's a thing like called blocks.json, and you can uh you can add to you can add to them. You can add them to the inventory. For what I did here, I just retextured stuff, recolored it, and then you could rename them. You can give them different names. So like the walkie-talkie is a fishing rod, but it shows up in the game as called walkie-talkie because I changed the name. And same thing with this. This is let's see what. Sorry. This is yellow concrete, but you can see that it's not real yellow concrete. It's called yellow concrete, so if you looked at it, you would be like, But you can see the texture of it is just a solid um, block as opposed to like that 3D kind of view of the block. Because it's just looking at the texture of it. Now in the game, you don't really ever get that block, so it doesn't matter. But I wanted to make it so that you could place these candles because these candles can be placed on yellow concrete. But oh, that finally ticked off. I don't know why. That was that message I said should have went through. Yeah, I got to figure out some. There's still little kinks in this thing. I was up till 6:30 this morning working on it.
Oh my gosh.
I know I'm so tired. Um, so this I wanted this to be able to be placed only on here, but not other. Um, so here, watch this. Let's see if I make this normal yellow concrete. This is the normal yellow concrete, and then I go into sorry, game A. Now this should not. Yeah, see, I cannot place it here. However, if I go and make my special block, because it's not really, it's actually, I don't even remember what block I used. Oh, you know what I used? Yeah, I use the chemistry blocks because they're like simple blocks, and there's a ton of them. That's why the texture is flat too. Because if you remember are those I believe the chemistry ones show the symbol like the why am I spacing on the name? Periodic table. It shows the elemental symbol, so that's why it's flat facing. So that's why this one's flat. So I use those because they give us 100 about 120 blocks we added. When we added it, here's a little behind the scenes fun fact. I don't know if anybody cares, but I'll share it with you. When we added the chemistry mod, we always have to do kind of parity with because we're on the same, Bedrock engine that Bedrock is. We took every free block that was left that Minecraft had at the time to make chemistry because they had like 120 blocks. So we actually stopped. No one can make new blocks for a while, and because of our thing, but it gives you 120 blocks to to edit and modify if you're not going to be using chemistry as it is. So if you make something and you want to add a bunch of new custom blocks, just make them just use those chemistry blocks. There's still weird problems because if someone gets a lab table or something, I could take this block and put it in and make water with it, but people probably won't figure that out. Anyway, now that I've replaced this block with I did replace this block, I think, but here I'll just double check. But now if I go back through, you can see I can place on that because that's what it's really looking for. In hindsight, there's no other place in here where there's a yellow block, so it's not a big deal. I could have probably just used the regular ones and not made this simple one and just said only place a candle on that. But would I have been able to put a candle? Would it have let me place it here and fall and lose it and drop it? I don't know. I'd have to play around with it. But that's just how I did it to protect, so I know what the blocks are. Same with this block. This is diamond ore over here. I retextured it, and I made that lever, the lever that you get from that pot. That lever will only place on there. That way, I can't place it here and then not be able to break it and put it there, because you can't break anything in here to protect the integrity of the world.
So Cole, we had another hand up. I believe it was you, Luke. Do you still have a question?
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I can't see the chat, so I'm and I ramble, so I apologize. So, if you want to, you can actually just yell at me and tell me to stop.
Yeah, and feel free if you have additional questions, you can unmute too. There's a few written in the chat. I
My
know
my
Luke.
question was answered. I was um, it was Colton who said that you could hack the blocks instead of making new ones, but Dan said you can also make new ones instead of hacking them. So both are possible, apparently.
Yep, yep, for sure. Yeah, I would love to do like somewhere down the line, if there's people interested in it, like do a thing where we just make a block together or make an entity together. I feel like a lot of you guys know how to do a lot of that stuff, but if you don't, it's good practice, and maybe there's some little hidden things you didn't know, or I don't know. Maybe you know something that you can teach me, um, which would be awesome. So yeah.
There's another question. So I think it's Mary. If I say it incorrectly, please correct me. Says you mentioned adding cinematics. How do you do that?
Well, it's a great question, and it's an evolving question. In the old times, no one really thought that you could even do a cinematic. Basically in Minecraft, you are the camera. We can switch to this kind of third person mode, this selfie view, which I don't know if you ever tried to play with this. It's like unplayable. It's really just to take a little picture of yourself. But um, to make a cinema, what you do is you do a series of teleports, and there's some little tips and tricks to make it like come off more like a cinematic. One thing we'll do, you guys know about the pumpkin, wait, am I in creative? No, sorry, hold on. So if you put a pumpkin on your head, of jack-o'-lantern, sorry, if you put this on your head, if as Minecraft players, you probably all know that you like when you go to the end, you don't want the enderman to see you, you put this little thing on, and you get this like, oh look, I'm looking through a pumpkin. Well, what we like to do when we do cinemas is hijack this pumpkin and retexture it so it has letterboxing, so you create those like when you go into a cinematic in a film in a video game, it'll go bring in those bars to give it that cinematic widescreen look. So one thing we'll do is we'll force this helmet on you, and then it'll be in widescreen, like, and so it'll look like a cinema. And then we'll take control of the character through a series of teleports. And during that time, you have control, but we're fighting it. And so we're teleporting you. So like when I was talking about like, oh, let me take this pumpkin off. Just imagine his letterbox. I could do it, but it would take a minute or two to show you. So I'm sure your imagination is good enough to imagine letterboxes. Oh, I didn't. That's not where I need to get. There it is. Um, so, for example, so imagine I lit this, and then in a perfect world where I had all the time in the world, like this, I probably would have used like this light. So I light it, and then I would have seen this, bing. But I was trying to show that these things were affecting this gate. So that's why the indicator's there. So I like this, and then that'd be a perfect time to instantly teleport. Sorry, ooh, I hit code builder. Um, um, it would after you lit the second one, I would instantly teleport the player to somewhere like here. And remember, now we're also widescreen, so it looks a little more cinematic, right? And from this position, I could teleport the player every tick, every two, like whatever. I was teleporting them through the air, basically making a spline through teleports, and I would move them. If I had my controller, it would look better, but I'm using a mouse, so it's not going to look as smooth. But I'd be like, and I teleport them all the way out of here, and then during that time, you're on for the ride. You can't do anything because it's just constantly teleporting you. I can show you an example of it in another game where we have cinemas.
That'd be
But
cool.
yeah, you want to see that? Yeah, I could definitely fire
Definitely.
that. Yeah, I could definitely fire that up. Here, you know what? Little cross promotion for the investigators. What do you say? Let me just get out of here really quick. I'll show you what's going on here. So I've just been this week. We were just wrapping up the investigators, which was built with a team in the UK called Block Builders, and also with myself. So I've been going over and putting on kind of some final polish and, just getting it all nice and beautified to go out the door. And this one has a brief cinema. It's a short one, but if you play some of our games, like if you play, I know you guys probably know about the Frozen Planet games we did a year ago, whatever. Those have some really nice cinematics, right? They took their time. They did some really slow ones. The stuff we did with Cambridge. Oh, if you played the math series, that the Mummy Mayhem, it's got some incredible cinematics in there. That's those guys just really not only so when you combine awesome like hand animation with camera moves, I mean, you can make a movie. Like Minecraft is not the best engine to make like a machinima. I mean, I'll just say it. But if you have the patience and the skills, you can do it. It's not easy, but it's a lot of work. But some of these guys, they actually even make tools. When we were working with Cambridge, they actually made a tool that made their big splines. They have these big fly-ins, and you guys might know that everybody knows like how to teleport, right? We did a close quarter on teleport. So you teleport, but there's also a look at component too. So you can actually like tell it to look at stuff. So while you're moving, you're telling it to look. So you're actually getting that like pan and like the one, which the one, it's the pan, right? I'm trying to think of which one where the camera's locked and it moves around it. But I forget what that one's called. My cinema classes years ago. So let me reset this here and you will see a cinematic. Come on. So this is a cinematic. Just a real basic one. Doesn't do anything really crazy. You can, I mean, you can also imagine it. Sorry, I gotta fix this there. Where is this thing right here? That's our little don't. There we go. So yeah, so you see this one, the look at is pretty much aligned, but you can imagine if you wanted to, you could do something where maybe we started over here and the camera went like this and moved like that, where the look is or it's locked and you're orbiting around it. You can get some really dynamic stuff. Originally, what I kind of asked for in my feedback was, I'm like, yeah, it'd be really cool if you started up here and then you kind of flew through the bus and you ended up flying in and starting here so that you actually got off the bus. But we went for a quicker solution here. So let's look at what's happening with that. I got to go into here and I got to go into here and the resource packs. Oh, sorry, I don't want resource packs. I wanted behavior pack. Sorry. That would be functions intro cutscene. So if you look here, you'll see how fun it is. So you see all this? This is all your teleports. And you can see there's your facings. So you can adjust those, right? Some, like I said, some people make tools. If I look at this, I would have to take a gander that they use a tool, because if you can type those numbers just out of your knowledge of movement, then you're a pretty incredible person. In fact, you may not be a person. You might be a robot. But yeah, so this is how a cinema works. So you see, it's just running these, it's using, this one's using kind of a score. It looks like it's using this a counter to just verify the next movement, and then it's running a teleport on you. And so as the ticks go down and the count matches, you're teleporting every tick or whatever to move that thing. But like I said, that's the old way, because now we have cameras coming out, and it's getting more and more robust. It's very simple right now. You can just do a little bit with it. Has anybody had a chance to play with camera yet? So now we can do things, and it's going to be insane if you get to see. I'm going to do a close corner on it, but I have to kind of master it first, and it's so new that I haven't mastered it. But well, master, like, I don't know if I'll ever. Our game's impossible to master. It's just so much, and it's always changing. But anyway, the camera controls now. One of the things. So here, let me show you something in this. I'm going to run the cinema one more time. Okay, ready? Here we go. Now, see how I'm fighting it? See this jittery? Can you guys see that? I don't know if Teams will update, but you see how jittery that got? Well, that's because I'm trying to do something, and it's saying, no, you're looking here. No, you're moving here. I'm like, no, I want to look over here. It's like, nope. And so I'm fighting it, and so it gets that jitter effect. For so long, that's how life has been for cinematics in Minecraft. That you took the good with the bad. Hey, look, we have cinematic. Bad news is if you fight it, you're gonna wreck it. I work with some partners that have tried to do some pretty clever things how to avoid that. If you play Escape Estate, speaking of escape rooms, we did a trick with mounting. We had a thing with mounted, but it made your transition smooth, but your look at was still free. So you could still, it didn't force you to look at something. With the new camera command, I don't even think I have it. Oh, we don't have it yet. Okay, that's the thing. It's not in education. It's still, I think, under experimental. So it should be coming soon. Yeah, I think it actually works in education. I think we can't access it because it's an experimental. I think it actually, if you brought something in that had the camera controls, I believe it would actually function. So expect it soon. But with the camera, we'll be able to do this thing with camera. See, all I get is camera shake right now. You guys see my screen? Yeah, yeah. Okay. So yeah, so with the camera controls, one of the biggest things in the early version you could do is disable player input, which eliminates that jitter effect. So even if you just did this exactly the same way, getting rid of that jitter is awesome. But now you can you're going to be able to do cool fixed cameras, different camera views. You're going to be able to see the player, because like I said earlier, when you're doing a cinematic, you're the camera. So you can't see you in the cinema. Like, here, let's watch the cinema and see what this looks like. Like, you know, this is what's happening. You're just moving through the air, and it's just so happens. So if you're in third person, it's obviously not going to be a great cinema. Like, you're like, why am I flying through the air? But with the new camera controls, you can actually have, it's a camera now, and so you could have your player, and I could have my player walking up here at the same time I'm seeing that camera move, and I'm coming in. I'm like, oh, look, that's me. I'm walking up to the school. That's so cool. And then I get control of it because I won't have control of my player, and it's decoupled. So look forward to that. It's coming soon. And if you want to play with it now, I believe Bedrock. It would just go an experimental in Bedrock, and you can already start rocking it. But it's gonna change cinematic. I can't wait. I'm gonna make a Resident Evil game, not obviously branded Resident Evil, but I'm gonna make a locked camera like house that you walk through, and then the camera angle switch like when you turn around the corner. I'm gonna make that. That's it's been a dream of mine. So yeah, that's what I got. So does that help cinema question?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it was an interesting thing. I never thought it was possible, and then I saw it once. Someone figured out how to do it, and then I kind of became enamored with it, and so I started pushing it, and so I've it's in a lot of our stuff now. We actually use them quite a bit. So if you ever want to use one, check out some of those maps, and for some Inspirato, some backward engineering, you can see how that's done.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Cole. Like I learned a lot too during this call. So thank you so much. That was really good. And so our next Cole's Corner will be next month. This will be your last one of the year on November 30th. And I heard there were some really good ideas in the chat, Cole. So for the next Cole's Corner. And
Oh, cool.
our computer science live play along. So this will be like the hour of code play along will be on December 6th. This will be our biggest event of the year, where everyone can drop everything in code together. And we'll be streaming during 4 different times. We'll have a student streamer, an adult streamer from Ireland. It's going to be really great. So feel free to join us. The flyer was posted earlier today, and the registration link will be posted sometime next month for you to be able to click and register for the event. So thank you so much for joining us, and thank you again, Cole.
Thank you guys for coming. And yeah, if you have any ideas you want to talk about, I know I haven't responded, but I know